you struck a chord when you talked about the concentration risk, Matt, and specifically around the connect the dot exercise, right? And just to help illustrate that a little bit more for folks who might be watching this, let's say you take a financial institution that has 800 third-party vendors that they're, on their radar that they have to look out for on a regular basis and monitor, right? And let's say 200 of those vendors are SaaS organizations where they're writing code or low code, and they basically pick a cloud provider, right, and put their application in the cloud. You do that connect the dot exercise, and you'll find that, okay, out of those couple hundred cloud providers, 75% of them are using AWS, 20% are using Azure, 5% are using Google Cloud. And then you understand very quickly, hey, if a quarter of my third-party vendors are using AWS, that's some serious concentration risk, if they're in the same availability zones or, using some of the same services, and there, is potentially an outage, right? Those are types of exercises that I don't think happen enough, but I'm glad to hear that, in your travels, you're seeing more and more of that.
I think so. It's rewarding to see. We have colleagues of mine that are working specifically with the cloud service providers, and we're talking about these kind of risk scenarios. What are the types of attacks or frankly human error issues that could take down a major cloud service for a sustained period of time? What's the resiliency plan that the cloud service providers have?
Absolutely.
A key thing, of course, we've heard back from those cloud providers is that, again, there's a level of responsibility still that organizations have, that when they set up and start using the cloud service providers can provide resiliency solutions such as globally distributed data centers. But firms have to be able to set up and configure their applications and how they're sharing data and things like that. They have to do that securely and with those questions of resiliency in mind. So the key point, I think, is that we've learned that you can't just rely on the cloud provider or even a significant service provider to do it all for you. It really is a partnership where you have to be working closely together to look at what are the risk scenarios pertinent to the firm, and then frankly what can or cannot a cloud service provider do to help successfully address those scenarios and mitigate the risk.